to review for your quiz that we are going to have. So you should have a worksheet, and I want you to go through and work the problems for me. Okay, so here we just wanted to match the graphs and what they look like. So let's look right here. So I've got a vertical asymptote at x equals -3 for this one. Okay, so x equals -3. I've got a vertical asymptote at -3 and +3 for this one. Okay, a vertical asymptote at x equals -3 and a vertical asymptote at x equals -3 and x equals a +3 for those. Okay, so let's look right here. Is there a horizontal asymptote here? There's no horizontal asymptote here. What about right here? This one, these are equal, so it's the ratio. So you're going to have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 2. So it looks like this one, right? 1, 2. So this one's going to be B, just by knowing all that. Okay. This one has no horizontal. This one can reduce, right? So if I were to reduce, that would be x plus a 3 times x minus a 2. So your x plus 3s would have gone away, so you would have had a whole at 3 as well. And then what about this one? So we've got a -1, so we will have a so it's going to be D, right? All right. This one's going to have a slant, so because you can do long division and find your slant here. So this one would be an A. Okay. All right, let's look down here. So I've got our table about finding your vertical and your horizontal asymptotes. So your vertical asymptotes are what makes the denominator 0. This one's not going to have any. So that means my domain is all real numbers. And the horizontal asymptote is these exponents are equal, so it's the ratio. So it's going to be y equals 5/6. Okay. I need to factor this one. So what can multiply together to give you -20 and add together to give you -1? Which is going to be -4 and -5. So that's going to be factored 2x minus a 5 times x plus a 2 there. So your vertical asymptotes are going to be at -2 and at 5/2. So that means your domain is going to be -infinity to -2, union -2 to 5/2, union 5/2 to infinity. And this one is greater than the bottom, so there is no horizontal asymptote. All right. This one, vertical asymptote here, is going to be at a -5/4. So your domain is going to be -infinity to -5/4, union -5/4 to +infinity. The bottom is greater, so this is going to be a y equals a 0 as your horizontal. Okay, so let's look over here. So we want to graph. So to graph, we have to fill out a lot of information. So we need to find the vertical asymptote. So it's going to be x equals 1. So x equals 1 is going to be a vertical. So there we go. And the horizontal asymptote is, these are equal, so your horizontal asymptote is going to be at y equals 2. X-intercepts is going to be setting the numerator equal to 0, so it's going to be a negative 1/2. Okay, and then the y-intercept is going to be a negative 1. Okay, there is no hole, so there is no hole here because I can't reduce. Let's just plug in another point just so that we know. So let's plug in something over on this side, so 1, 2. So let's plug in a 2 here for x. So that'll be 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 plus 1 is a 5. 2 minus 1, so this will be 2/5. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my graph is going to look something like this. Okay. All right, so what about 8 here? So what makes the denominator 0 is a negative 1. So I have a vertical asymptote at x equals 1, or negative 1, I'm sorry. Horizontal asymptote, so no horizontal asymptote, but can this reduce? So this is x plus 2 times x minus a 1. So that can't reduce. So let's try a long division here. So let's say x plus 1, does that divide evenly into here? So x squared plus x minus a 2. So it'll be x. So your slant is going to be at just the numerator up here. So, or just the dividend. Y equals x here, so you're going to have a slant there, A, B, C. X-intercepts, so set the numerators equal to 0, so negative 2 is a x-intercept, so negative 2, 0, and 1, 0. Y-intercept, plug 0 in. So y-intercept is going to be 0, negative 2. Okay, there is no hole. No hole. Let's just plug in another point over here. So what? Let's plug in negative 3. Negative 3 plus 2 is a negative 1. Or here, I guess we could square it. Do that one. That'll be a little bit easier. So that'll be 9 minus 3 minus 2. So it's a 4. Divided by negative, so it's a negative 1. So it's going to look something like this. It's going to approach both of those vertical and slants there. Okay. All right, let's look here. So my vertical asymptote is at 2. I don't have a horizontal, okay, so I don't have a horizontal, so I could use some long division here. So your slant is going to be at y equals x plus 2. So there's your slant. The numerator can factor to x minus 3 times x plus a 3. Nothing can simplify. So your x-intercepts are going to be 3, and then negative 3, 0. And then your y-intercept is going to be a 9/2. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, negative 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And a 0, 9 halves. So 4.5. Somewhere up there. So it's going to get real close to these asymptotes, but never touch. Like this. There's no hole here. All right, so I need to factor this. So this would be what? X minus a 3 times x plus a 2. And then this can reduce, so this can reduce to 1 over x minus 3. So your vertical asymptote is going to be at 3. Your horizontal asymptote is going to be at 0. Because we're bottom heavy, we have a hole, okay? We have no x-intercept, and we have a y-intercept at a 1/3. Okay. We do have a hole. We have a hole at -2. So when I plug that in there, I will get a -1/5. So at -2, we're going to be at a -1/5. All right, so this is actually going to be a -1/3. I'm sorry. So ignore that point right there. Okay, so you're going to have a hole there, so you're actually going to draw an open circle. Let's figure out what's happening over here on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's plug in a 4. So if you plug in a 4, you will get a 1, positive 1. So this is going to look something like this. And there's a hole right there. Okay, so that's everything that I'm looking for this graph. All right. All right, so that's everything that you need to know for your quiz tomorrow. So make sure that you go through your homework and practice these problems. These are going to be some great questions for you. If you have any questions, let me know. Y'all have a good day.